This is Jeff Tamburillo, Director of the Southwest Florida Real Estate Investment Association, here to give you our March 2013 Lee County, Florida foreclosure trend report. Trends at a glance: in March we had 562. The previous month we had 422. For some historical perspective, we had 794 the previous March all the way to 2009, 2217. Certificates of title, we conveyed 324. That's 5 less from the previous month. Pretty much the lowest month on the screen. Here's a chart of the deeds transferred. Kind of notice we're just kind of chopping up and down. I really think we've kind of found a channel, and this is where we're going to be for a while. Same thing with the foreclosures. Notice the sharp velocity upward on the left side of the bell. Right side of the bell, the bump here really is a function of this as well, because this should have probably carried through here and then continued to go down because you had the robo-signing issue, which kind of shut everything down. As well, there's the rocket docket is not there anymore, so you've got a kind of an elongation of the process. Shorter view from the peak. Everybody keeps screaming second wave. I think second bump is appropriate term. You also have larger principal balances here. So from a banking perspective, it probably is a second wave. From the consumer and particularly the investor on the street, not so. Here's a chart of both of them together, and what you really want to look for is when the pink line goes above the blue line, or when the pink line and the blue line touch, which means we're disposing of as many as we're getting out, which means we're reducing the backlog. Top 10, JP Morgan by a large amount. BOA is now down to number 3. BOA was pretty much number 1 for about 9 or 10 months. But JP Morgan number 1 by a pretty significant amount. Fannie Mae got 20% of the deeds, and they're getting more of the other ones that are in the bank's names. They just get assigned after. But you're looking truly at Fannie and Freddie are probably 70 to 75% of the REO market. So if you're working that market, I would suggest getting used to how their machinations and how they do business. As well, if you're an REO agent, I sure would make nice with whoever disposes of JP Morgan's assets, because they've got, in about 8 to 12 months, they're going to have a decent amount of properties. Not a decent amount, but they're going to have a decent percentage of the market that they're going to be offering. Also, non-bank entities. I thought this was interesting. International Capital Investment Company 2 had 18 certs, which was number 1, which is actually the number 2 number of certs. They actually got more certificates of title than every bank but Fannie Mae. And then go down through here, it's who's buying as investors. Notes the top 10 lending entities were 61% of the filings. That's actually down a little bit. Perspective. Since the beginning of 06, we've had 87,167 mortgage-related lis pendants. Generally 58% of them are resulting in a certificate of title, and we had in the same time frame through the MLS 47,022 sales in what we would constitute as the boom, which is beginning of 04 through 07. Bear in mind our pricing is already in early 04 levels, which is pretty exciting because a lot of us thought we would never get back there. Historical trends and population growth, I really think we're sitting at our new normal. I think also this month-over-month jump has more to do with the end of Q1 than anything else. So what you have to understand is you're dealing with banks here, and banks are essentially an income sheet and a balance sheet, and they tend to live and breathe by what the balance sheet does, because that balance sheet decides whether they should be open or not, while the income sheet decides whether they can make payroll or not. So in the end, it's always remember you're dealing with a bank, and banks are essentially a function of their balance sheet, and they will make decisions based upon what's best for their balance sheet. I'd like to talk about a great event we've got coming up here tomorrow. If you're watching this video the day we're going to release it. On April the 4th, our luncheon, we're going to be at Christoph's on McGregor. Great place for lunch. They do a really good job. It's also a locally owned restaurant. If you haven't noticed yet, we are making an effort to move the luncheon around, and we're also only moving the luncheon around to locally owned businesses. So if you have a locally owned restaurant, reach out to us. We would love to have a luncheon there as long as you've got the ability and the seating to have us there. Our events are generally 35 to 50 people. So, but Kelsey Deneen with Advana IRA Trust is going to be talking about thinking outside the box, non-traditional investments. Kelsey's a great speaker, and the guys at Advana IRA are top of their game, and they really know what they're doing. If you've got questions or thoughts, or particularly questions or thoughts on the foreclosure video, shoot me an email, Jeff, that's JEFF dot SWFL@gmail.com. Again, that's JEFF dot SWFL@gmail.com. Thanks for watching this video. I hope to see you at one of our meetings, and make it a great day.